Okay, Glyn, thank you for coming to talk to us. I just wondered if you could tell me a bit about what your life was like before your ASD diagnosis.
Well, I was very isolated. I was very lonely. I spent weeks and weeks, months and months on my own. I know I'm talking now, but I spent months, weeks, not talking, not communicating to anyone. I was non-verbal. I lived within my own head. I have a diagnosis of mental health personality disorder, as well as autism. The world was a scary place. Nothing made any sense to me. I was frightened of my own shadow. I didn't have an identity. I was very confused. I was multiple stimuluses of touch, taste, smell, environment factors that really had a massive impact on me as a person. I didn't know of no understanding of autism. I didn't know I had autism. I didn't know there was something wrong with me. I thought I was a bad person. I thought as though that I needed to die. I used to have suicidal thoughts every day. And I thought that the best way out for me is to stop living. So a lot of my life, every day, I prayed that I never woke up. I prayed that I wouldn't wake up that morning because I couldn't cope with I couldn't cope with what was happening internally. I couldn't cope with what was happening mentally because I was hearing voices. I still hear voices today, but through having a diagnosis of autism, I had to manage them differently. My relationship to me at the time and to the world were that I didn't discriminate, I hated everybody equally. But that anger and that upset internalised and it made me even more ill. I've been in services from being 14 years old, caring for my mum with schizophrenia. So my relationship to mental health services were a problem. I was seen as a problem because I was seen as a problem. I acted out as a problem. So I had a lot of internal and mental negative connotations about what services were and what this type of services were. When I came here, I had the same chip on my shoulder that I had in every other service, thinking they're going to do something to me, doing something for me, or something control me. I was very paranoid. I had a lot of paranoid delusions. I thought people were witches and wizards and they were trying to kill me. But then I also had a sense of perception. I used to get lost in strange places. I had red and green on the same plate. I couldn't socialise with people. I didn't really understand people's. I was very compassionate, and I said when I did talk, it always came out as blunt. I didn't have no understanding of other people, and I didn't have no thought of their feelings and their behaviours. And I also didn't understand why people reacted to me in a negative way, because I thought that's what. Well, you ask me a question, I'll give you an answer, but you don't like the answer I give you. So again, now sometimes I was a victim of what I was saying, but it's because I didn't have no knowledge, I didn't have no understanding. My life didn't make any sense. I didn't make any sense. The world didn't make any sense. People didn't make any sense. So my world was very insular, very lonely, very frightening, very scary. I didn't let anybody in. I lived in my own head, and also thought I was a problem. I wanted to die.
So how did you end up getting a referral to SAANS?
My relationship to mental health services have always been problematic. I've always felt as though that they were the expert and I was the recipient of services. But I worked with a guy called Ian. I can't remember his second name. Really lovely guy, really kind, really caring, really compassionate. He said to me, "How are you, Glyn?" I went, "Glyn, who's Glyn?" That's the two people who used to tell me when to get up, when to go to bed, when to sleep, when to eat. I was that institutionalised. I didn't even know what my own name was. So when this somebody says, "How are you, Glyn?" I'm looking around looking for somebody called Glyn. And he noticed something within me that, yes, I have a mental health problem, but it's not just about mental health, it's the way that I understand information, gain information, spatial awareness. He understood me, he described me, and he was the one who made a referral to the doctor saying that I believe Glyn's got autism spectrum, can we have a diagnosis? So I got a letter through saying that I'd been put on waiting list, but then it was 18 months before I actually come, so I'd actually forgot about it. But all 18 months while I was waiting for a diagnosis, I was still living in purgatory, still living in hell, still in a mental health service that didn't want me in it, that I didn't want to be in it. I still had a service that I was self-harming, drugs and alcohol and gambling and crying out for support, but no support ever given. I had all these traits for years, but Ian actually saw me and noticed me. And I had more diagnoses than you could ever think about. I'd had more professionals involved, sometimes 3 or 4 at a time, professionals involved in my life that I could think about. In fact, I'm sat at you right now because they won't see me once, I have to be seen in tools because they saw me as a problem and they saw me as being aggressive. Now, I weren't being aggressive, I was asking him questions and I won't give you answers to them. So every time I was asking them a question, I won't give you an answer. Oh, we'll tell you tomorrow, we'll tell you next week, we'll tell you this, we'll tell you that. You know they were never coming, so that's what made me get angry. So I started shouting because I didn't understand what was on me. They didn't have the patience, the time, the compassion, the understanding, or even the knowledge to be able to tell me what was happening to me. So I was getting more frustrated, and obviously they then saw me as a danger. But you can see I'm not a danger, I just needed somebody to learn me how to be. I didn't understand. I didn't have no identity, I didn't know who I were, I didn't know if it was night or day, I slept all the way through, I didn't look after myself, I didn't have no personal care, I couldn't get dressed and that. We had people telling me what to wear. So my wife was just a shambles, but it took Ian to realise there was more than just mental health, to realise that there was more than that. So after some learning in there, do we really see people? Do we really notice people? Have we really got the time to listen to their stories or their compassion? And that's the difference with SAANS. You have got that experience, and I suppose that's the difference now. I've got a new relationship to me, myself, professionals, the world. I didn't see my children. Now I've got a relationship back with my daughter from coming to SAANS. So I'm gaining awareness on what my behaviour is like and how I play a part in that downfall. So I've been able to change. So gaining a diagnosis for me of autism is not only changed my life, but changed the lives of my family and my friends and my opportunities that I get in life, where people see me as a person now and not as a problem. People value my experience. And that's all because I got a diagnosis of autism, so I could make sense of who I was. And I think the definition, I don't know if I'm moving on, but I just want to say this, the definition between being in SAANS and being in mental health services is that throughout COVID, I've received phone calls on a bi-weekly or monthly basis. Obviously when there's people holiday, but I've received regular phone calls and regular contact. I've never felt left or not being part of the service. People checked in with me, and they've also it's okay that I'm able to express myself more, feeling more, thinking, and my creativity. Even sharing the banner sometimes, because some of the phone calls were with delusions, thinking people out to get me. I was always accepted, I was always welcomed, I was always treated with dignity, compassion and respect. In all that time being in mental health services, I've not received one phone call. My brother on the 15th of December collapsed on a garden, got brain damage, in a coma for 17 days, in hospital 7 months, now in a wheelchair. Got Charles Bonnet syndrome, brain damage, wheelchair bound, one-to-one care. Never received a single message or anything from mental health services. And that's the difference between a compassionate service and a not compassionate service. That's the difference between seeing a person as a human being and seeing a person as a problem. And I think that's the thing within SAANS, that I am me, and it's okay to be me. And it's okay not to be me. That's the thing. That's the thing I've learned. It's okay not to be me, because despite of being in autism services, I'm diagnosed with autism. I still hear voices every day. I still have suicidal thoughts every day. But I've learned to manage them different. If I have suicidal thoughts or I'm having a bad day, I've learned coping mechanisms which now reduces the cost within NHS. Because you're giving me the skill, SAANS are giving me the skill to how to manage my symptoms. Because I'm never going to be symptom free. Because I've had them. I'm now 49. I had symptoms of visions and seeing people and monsters from being 4-year-old. So it's not as though it's going to go away. But through being in mental health services, I was never taught how to manage me. And I was never taught how to live with my conditions. I was never taught to accept myself or accept other people's opinions. So a lot of what's happened to me is that I've had to start again from being a child and grow again. So in my life, I got diagnosed with autism at 43. So I'm 6 years old. But from working with SAANS, today being sat on interview panel for a clinical psychologist. But from working with SAANS and gaining an independent life and gaining independence within my community, I'm now working with ADASH, set of their interview panels, part of the equality and diversity team, looking at culture, looking at people's mental health, part of the new adult and older adult framework for mental health, where we've been given a blank canvas to look at the landscape of mental health services. None of that could have been achieved without a diagnosis of autism, because I didn't know who I was. So what I've had to learn, and I've had to unlearn a lot of things over the last 6 years that have been negative habitual habits for me. So since I've been in well with SAANS, I've never been back in hospital for mental health problems. I've never relapsed on drugs. I've never relapsed on alcohol. I've gained my daughter back. I've gained friendships, and I've gained relationships back. I see myself as a valued individual with things to say. To the extent where I taught students at Cambridge University in London about mental health and autism, psychiatry students. So the thing is, through what's happened with being in SAANS, is because you've given me opportunity and you've given that sense of value, that self-worth, that validation, that belief in me. It's pulled out in other areas in my life where yes, I've got autism, yes, I've got mental health, but I've also got opportunities to give other people and give something back. And if that's the thing today, for 20 years of my life, I wanted to die every day. Every day, I celebrate every day, and I thank God I'm alive every day. And that's from my diagnosis of autism.
Thank you. That's really moving, Glyn, and really clear. Thank you ever so much.